Welcome to Norway, a country with unique and interesting cultural characteristics. Here, social interactions have their peculiarities. Norwegians value their personal space and often prefer not to engage in conversations with strangers. This can be interpreted as a sign of mutual respect and appreciation for individual privacy. Sitting next to someone on a bus when other seats are available is seen as intrusive, respecting the need for personal space. If you wish to initiate a conversation with someone, know that the most accepted way to do so is through a neutral topic, such as the weather. Discussing the weather is a friendly and safe way to break the ice and establish an initial connection. Trust is a central value in the lives of Norwegians, which can be traced back to the time of the Vikings. Being a person of one's word and keeping promises are highly appreciated aspects in Norwegian culture. Breaking trust is deeply unsettling for them and can affect personal and professional relationships. A notable characteristic of Norwegians is their remarkable tolerance. Norwegian society is welcoming and inclusive, embracing different lifestyles and personalities. Progressive laws, such as the legalization of same-sex marriage, reflect the country's open and progressive mindset. The separation of state and religion is also an important aspect of Norwegian culture, and religiosity is not a predominant feature in people's daily lives. Although many Norwegians are members of the Lutheran Church, religious practice is not common. People generally do not attend church regularly, and religion is not a frequent topic of discussion. This contributes to the feeling that personal beliefs are not subject to judgment, further strengthening the culture of tolerance in the country. Another important aspect of Norwegian culture is the balance between work and personal life. Here, the notion that work should not completely dominate people's lives is highly valued. This is reflected in flexible work policies and a more relaxed approach to professional life, allowing people to enjoy their leisure and family moments. If you're interested in learning more about Norway's rich and diverse culture, stay tuned, as we will continue to share fascinating facts and curiosities about this charming country. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave a like to support the channel. In Norwegian culture, there is a notable flexibility at work when it comes to taking care of children or dealing with personal situations. If someone falls sick or feels overwhelmed, it is perfectly acceptable to inform their employer and take an extra day off to rest at home. This approach is vastly different from countries like Germany and the United States. Additionally, it is common for young Norwegians to seek property ownership rather than renting a house or apartment. From a young age, many start saving and making deposits to achieve the goal of owning their own property by the age of 22, even if they don't have all the capital available to buy it outright. Once they become homeowners, they invest money to customize the property according to their preferences. Norwegians have a reputation for being excellent savers. They plan their purchases meticulously, saving enough to acquire what they desire. Unlike other cultures, the use of credit cards for purchases is not common in Norway, as they prefer to avoid debt in that sense. The food culture in Norway also differs from many countries, with a preference for cooking at home rather than eating out frequently. Even single individuals buy groceries and prepare their own meals, mainly due to the high cost of food at restaurants. For example, a simple pizza can cost an average of about $1.25. Furthermore, Norway stands out for gender equality and is considered one of the best countries for women to live in. Domestic responsibilities are shared equally between men and women hold prominent positions in society, including leadership roles in companies, government, and various professional fields. Specialists point out that Norwegians are deeply patriotic individuals, proud of their roots, and with a strong sense of cohesion. The happiness of the Norwegian people is closely linked to the country's social welfare system, which cares about ensuring the well-being of all citizens. They enjoy high standards of living and value a society with minimal disparities. One of the passions of Norwegians is skiing, which is deeply rooted in their culture. Children learn to ski from a very young age, and the sport is part of the school curriculum due to the country's proximity to the polar region, where there is snow even in the summer. Additionally, the country's stunning nature encourages Norwegians to embrace the outdoors, engaging in activities such as hiking, fishing, and mountain biking. Norwegian culture encourages contact with nature, and government policy allows access to public properties for personal use, making camping in various locations common. Cabins and chalets in the mountains are widely owned or rented by Norwegians to experience moments in the midst of nature. Education is highly valued in Norway, making it one of the most literate countries in the world. Citizens have access to free educational resources, and reading is a popular activity. The vast majority of Norwegians read at least one book per year, and a significant portion of the population reads one book per month. Norwegian culture is notably peaceful, with an aversion to conflicts and a talent for overcoming problems without fights. Although there are exceptions in the northern region of the country, in general, Norwegians value harmony and peaceful coexistence. This balanced approach to life, with a strong sense of patriotism, appreciation for nature, and pursuit of harmony, makes Norwegians a unique and admirable society. And the divergences are usually resolved in a calm manner. Norwegians have a striking characteristic of being tranquil individuals. It's rare to see a Norwegian irritated or nervous about something, as their lives are not governed by stress. This difference is noticeable when compared to cultures like the German, where pride is often linked to a life under constant pressure. Additionally, Norwegians are proficient in English, which facilitates communication with foreigners anywhere in Norway. Although Norwegian is a Germanic language, it shares many similarities with English, making them fluent in the language. This makes them open and accessible to those who visit the country. Norwegian women tend to be more introverted, preferring to socialize mainly with close people and avoiding unfamiliar environments. For example, at parties, it is common for them to opt for quiet dinners with their partners instead of crowded events. Family and close relationships hold great significance in their lives. The independence of Norwegian women is notable compared to other European nationalities. They seek gender equality and do not expect men to pay on their first dates, nor do they anticipate receiving expensive gifts from suitors. A peculiarity that may seem curious to foreign visitors in Norway is the tendency of people in the country to take long pauses during conversations. Silence is not considered uncomfortable, and extended periods of reflection are common during interactions. Furthermore, punctuality is a valued norm in Norway, whether in business or personal commitments. Arriving on time is a demonstration of respect, and those who don't may leave a negative impression, regardless of whether they are natives or foreigners. Despite adverse weather conditions, public transportation in Norway, such as buses and trains, is always punctual, highlighting the importance of punctuality in the country's culture. Recycling is a deeply ingrained practice in Norwegian society. The commitment to recycling is so high in the Nordic countries that they even developed an activity called plogging, which involves running while picking up litter for later recycling. Selective waste collection is an essential part of the process, with plastics being recycled in blue bags, food waste in green bags, and cans and bottles being deposited in specific recycling machines. Fish is extremely popular in Norwegian cuisine, and a great variety of species, such as Atlantic cod, haddock, and salmon, thrive in its waters. Norwegians consume fish regularly, preparing it in various ways, from dried cod to smoked mackerel. In addition to cuisine, fish also plays a significant role in Norwegian culture and tradition. High school graduation is a momentous occasion in the country. The ceremony known as Russefeiring is one of the biggest celebrations in the country, marking the end of high school at age 18. Over 40,000 young people graduate each year, and most of them participate in this celebration, which takes place from May 1st until Constitution Day on May 17th. The graduates gather in groups and acquire a vehicle, usually painted and equipped with sound systems, in which they travel to various parties across the country before taking their final exams. Another important aspect of Norwegian culture is their love for coffee. Inviting someone for coffee is a special act, as it represents setting aside time to be with friends, family, or colleagues and have a good conversation. In fact, the expression "ta en café" carries the meaning of slowing down and enjoying the company of others in a relaxing moment. Norway is famous for hosting some of the world's best tea houses, specializing in light roast coffee. Surprisingly, Norwegians have a unique breakfast tradition where they consume rakfisk, a traditional dish of preserved fish. In fact, Norwegians have a special affinity for fish, even incorporating it into their morning meals. Rakfisk is carefully salted and preserved in pantries and enjoyed as a daily delicacy. This delicious blend of flavors in rakfisk is described as a tasty and spicy combination with sweet and sour notes. Interestingly, in the 19th century, a common practice was to serve the salted rakfisk over porridge, creating a unique culinary experience. A significant event in Norway is the Constitution Day, celebrated on May 17th. This is a prominent occasion throughout the country, both in cities and villages. On this day, Norwegians come together to commemorate the Constitution of 1814 and toast with champagne. During the celebrations, it is common to see music bands and children marching through the main streets of Oslo. The royal family also participates, greeting the processions from the balcony. The streets are decorated with red flags with blue and white crosses, symbolizing the nationalist spirit of this date. The festivity is made even more colorful by traditional costumes called bunyads, which are richly embroidered with vibrant colors. Some Norwegians value this attire so much that they are willing to pay significant amounts, up to $10,000, for versions embroidered in silver or gold. Norwegian culture is also rich in mythology, with trolls being a prominent figure. In local tradition, trolls are considered malevolent beings with the power to unleash snowstorms or rock slides. Although some modern representations portray them as more benign creatures, Norwegians still associate them with dangerous natural forces. Trolls are often depicted in statues and are part of the names of certain places, like the famous Trollstigen. A curious aspect of Norwegian policies is the sale of alcohol. Personal consumption of alcoholic beverages is acquired directly from the government in Norway, following strict regulations in this regard. If you intend to buy alcoholic beverages for home consumption, you need to go to a state-run establishment called the Wine Monopoly. These stores close early on Saturdays and remain closed on Sundays. In supermarkets, you can find beers with an alcohol content below 5%, and alcohol sales cease before the store's closing time. Babies in Norway are accustomed to the cold from an early age, preparing to face the harsh northern winter, which can include temperatures below zero. This practice helps children develop resilience to cold weather. Norwegians have some distinct customs. One tradition is eating tacos on Fridays, which has become popular among Norwegian families as a way to celebrate the beginning of the weekend. Although it may seem strange, they love tacos, and nowadays this dish is enjoyed on various occasions beyond Fridays. Another common custom in Norway is taking off shoes before entering a house, a social rule that is taught to children from an early age. Besides showing respect, this practice is related to the frequent rains and snow in Norway. By removing shoes, the need for constant floor cleaning is avoided. This tradition is considered so important that it is taught to all children in their early years of school. As for adopting these customs from Norway, it is interesting to learn about and appreciate the cultural diversity of different countries. Each habit reflects the history, climate, and mentality of a nation. However, the decision to adopt these practices elsewhere depends on acceptance and relevance in the local culture. Share with us in the comments some characteristic habits of your country's culture. Every society has its unique traditions and customs, and learning about them enriches our understanding of the world. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to share it so that others can also learn about and appreciate Norway's cultural diversity. Until next time.